The hall of the Galactic Council shimmered with silver light as I stood among hundreds of alien delegates. They whispered in tones I could barely understand. Every gaze turned toward the tall figure standing at the center. The alien woman they called Sarai of the Rule. Her violet skin glowed faintly under the council lights, and her golden eyes scanned the chamber like blades searching for weakness. No one dared to speak. The Rule were warriors, unmatched in battle, feared across systems. Yet Sarai was different. She had lost her people in the war that humans had helped to end. The council decreed that peace could only be sealed by a union. One representative of humanity must marry her, binding our species through alliance. But when her story was told, when they said her last mate had died defending her from her own kind, silence fell. No humans stepped forward. Until I did. I did not speak. I did not bow. I simply walked to her. The room gasped. Even the counselors, who prided themselves on composure, flinched. I met her eyes, those bright, lonely stars, and felt something deeper than fear. It was understanding. She had lost everything, and so had I. My name was Captain Aaron Vale, last survivor of the Earthship Vanguard. I had watched my crew burn in the upper atmosphere of Rule Prime, destroyed by the same war that had scarred her world. We were enemies once. But now, I could not see an enemy before me, only someone who carried the same ghosts. The council elder, an insectoid being with glassy wings, asked if I understood the vow. It was more than marriage. It was surrender of power, of sovereignty, of pride. Once I accepted, humanity would be tied to Rule forever. I nodded. Sarai studied me in silence. Her face was unreadable. Then, without a word, she stepped closer and pressed her hand to my chest. Her touch was cold at first, then warm, like the first light of dawn after endless night. The symbol of the bond appeared between us, glowing blue, burning through cloth and skin alike. The hall erupted in shouts and murmurs. Some called me fool, others called me hero. But in that moment, none of it mattered. Sarai looked at me and whispered softly, "You may regret this." I answered with quiet certainty, "Maybe, but not today." Outside the council dome, the twin sons of Rule rose together. A sign, they said, of an impossible fate being set in motion. And I, the human who said nothing, had just changed the course of two worlds. The ceremony ended, but silence followed me like a shadow. No one congratulated me. The human envoys looked away, as if I had betrayed them. To them I had married into the enemy. To the Rule I was an intruder, an untested human standing beside their warrior queen. Sarai led me through the crystal corridors of her palace. The air shimmered faintly, alive with energy fields. Every guard bowed to her, but their eyes were fixed on me with quiet disdain. I had expected that. What I had not expected was her silence. We did not speak for hours. She showed me my quarters, large but empty. Only when I set my bag down did she finally turn. "You did not ask for power," she said. "You did not ask for protection. So tell me, why accept?" I hesitated. "Because someone had to." She frowned, almost in disbelief. "Duty, pity, understanding," I said softly. "We both lost everything. Maybe this bond can build something new." For a long moment she said nothing. Then slowly her expression softened. "Humans are strange," she murmured. "You fight for things even after they are gone." Days turned into weeks. The bond we shared began to change us both. When she trained with her soldiers, I watched her command, fierce and graceful. When I spoke with the council, I defended her people against old prejudice. Slowly, the distance between human and Rule began to shrink. But not everyone welcomed peace. One night, the palace alarms blared. A group of Rule extremists stormed the outer halls, shouting that no alien should rule their kind. I ran toward the sound, unarmed, while Sarai drew her blade of plasma. The attackers came fast, furious, ready to die for pride. We fought side by side. I had no weapon but my will and the burning mark of our bond. When one of them struck at her, I stepped between them. The plasma blade cut deep into my arm, yet the bond pulsed, sealing the wound with blinding light. The attackers fled in terror. When it was over, Sarai knelt beside me. For the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. "You are human," she whispered. "You were not supposed to survive that." I smiled weakly. "Then maybe the bond means more than they think." She touched my face gently. "Maybe," she said, "it means destiny." Outside, the stars of Rule burned brighter, as if they, too, were beginning to believe. Peace never lasts without sacrifice. Months passed, and whispers of rebellion grew stronger. The extremists who had failed once now gathered allies from distant moons. They called the union of Sarai and the human a curse, a chain forged by weakness. The council urged evacuation, but Sarai refused to abandon her home. "I will not run from my own kind," she said firmly. "If they wish for war, then let them find us ready." We prepared the defenses together. I shared human strategy. She commanded her fleets. Our bond linked our minds during battle simulations, allowing thoughts to cross like lightning. It was no longer just alliance. It was connection deeper than words. When the war began, it came without warning. 1,000 ships darkened. The skies of Rule Prime, plasma, fire rained across the capital. The palace shook, and for a moment I saw fear ripple through even her soldiers. I took her hand. "We fight together," I said. She nodded. Together. We led the counterstrike from the palace balcony. Human drones guided Rule fighters through the storm. The battle burned across the sky, silver and violet streaks tearing the heavens apart. When the enemy flagship descended, Sarai leaped into its path. I followed, armed with nothing but the energy bound within me. The enemy commander shouted, "You disgrace your bloodline, Sarai." She answered coldly, "Then let my disgrace save my people." The bond flared between us, brighter than any weapon. For a single heartbeat, human and Rule energy fused. Light and fire became one. The explosion tore the flagship apart, ending the battle in silence. When I opened my eyes, we were lying beneath the ruined dome of the council. The air was still, heavy with smoke and victory. Sarai looked at me with quiet wonder. "You gave everything," she whispered. "So did you," I said. "That is what love does." She smiled, a rare, fragile thing. "They will remember you as the human who said nothing," she said, "and changed everything." I reached for her hand. "Then let them remember us both." The suns rose again over Ruul, their twin light washing over the world reborn from ashes. And though the scars remained, the people no longer saw a human and an alien. Only two souls who proved that peace was possible. The bond between our worlds endured. And so did we.